evaluation of the guys, especially having your first scrimmage on Sunday?
Oh, it was really good. You judge from day one till today. Like, I see us getting better every single day at every position. So very pleased with that. Our guys, we focusing on just physicality right now, putting a big emphasis on that. And our guys, they're answering that bell. So today was a really good practice. You saw that, just following up the scrimmage, because you know how that is. Scrimmage, everybody's geeked up and ready to go. But us coming back today in our first practice since then, like I walked out of that one feeling pretty good about what I saw on both sides of the ball.
Tim, throughout the early part of this practice, what's impressed you so far, and what are some areas where you think you need to continue to get better at?
Well, first of all, I'd say, I think every position group, there are certain things that they all got to get better at. But what stands out, our running back position is pretty deep. You see a lot of different guys being able to go in there and create explosive plays. And, we knew that coming out of spring ball and, through the summer. But it's always good when, you have your mind set in one way and then you're actually seeing that come to pass on the field. So our guys are doing a really good job back there. Offensive line, I think they're developing every day. We're doing a good job of, giving some guys some looks at some different positions just to, because, through the course of a season when things start to happen, we don't want to be caught off guard and having to do those things then. So, being able to do that right now and guys having success and showing progression is really good. Our receivers, the physicality from them, they're getting pushed really hard every day just to be able to do the things without the ball. And, you get so caught up at that position and, how many balls we're catching and all that. But we made the focus with those guys just how physical they're going to be, in the blocking game. And then, just showing extra effort, going downfield. They say we have the backs to create explosive plays a lot, but a lot of times the difference between a 20-yard gain and a 70-yard touchdown is a receiver screening just a little bit more down the field. And our guys, they're getting pushed every day to do that, and you're seeing that show up on film more. And then our quarterbacks, the position that to start with, you watch those guys taking, command of the offense and really being leaders with the other guys in the group, coming on the sideline, talking about things that have happened, because that's what you want to see, your quarterbacks coming off the field and pulling receivers or pulling running backs, saying, do this or, hesitate a little more there. So you're seeing that more and more. So I'm very pleased with just overall how we're progressing from day to day.
Coach, you mentioned progression everywhere from
Yeah.
off the ball and otherwise. Is there, obviously, there's a lot of new faces too, transfer. Who's a returner that's somebody that's making a leap to be a much player this year than last year?
I started the receiver position. Xavier Townsend's had a really good offseason. He's a guy that's, when he's gotten opportunities throughout his career, he's done a really good job at really haven't been in a position to be like the primary guy. You're seeing him take steps in his game to put himself in position to be that. Chauncey Magwood has had a really good camp so far. A guy that hadn't really gotten a chance yet either. And but you're seeing it every day. He's bringing it every single day. Not only the balls that the plays that he's making with the ball, but just that effort stuff. A guy that's going to do some dirty work. So Trent Whitmore, same deal. He's a guy that didn't get a lot of opportunities to catch it, but he's getting a lot of 50-50 opportunities now. He's making plays. So when you got guys at the receiver position starting to progress there, it's been really good. So I've been pleased with them. Our running backs, all the guys there, they do a good job. RJ, you know what you're getting there, but Johnny Richardson, his game is going to continue to get better. We had to add things to his packages from, what we're trying to do right now. So very pleased. But those are the guys that stand out as return guys.
3 of the 4 captains named were on the offense. How has that leadership shown through in fall camp?
It's a big deal. It shows clearly. Starting with our quarterback, being a guy that transferred and didn't get here to January, but the respect that he earned of his teammates just in this short time to be voted as a captain, I think that's very important because you want the guy, at that position to be able to lead your team. And KJ doing a great job with that. I watched him doing spring ball where you can tell he was still getting comfortable being here with us, still getting comfortable with us as a staff and his teammates, and he didn't really say a whole lot. He was trying to just get a really good understanding of what we were trying to do offensively. But after that, we got into the summer, and he started taking control when we bringing the offense up. Him saying the motivating words before we, take the field. And then when we're coming off, him being able to fix people. So I think that guy, being voted a captain was the most important. And then guys like RJ, who's earned so much respect because he's a guy that when he got here, RJ's had to work himself to where he is now. We look at what the product was of last season for him, and it was a really great season, but, it wasn't that when he walked in the door. He really had to take every step from the bottom of the running back depth chart, learning how to play the position, to now. And his teammates respect the heck out of him because no matter how much success he had last year, you wouldn't see it by the way you wouldn't know that by the way that he works. He works extremely hard on and off the field for this program, and he's a guy that earns his teammates' respect. And then Marcellus, same deal. From the offensive line standpoint, you always want one of those guys up front. You know, the big uglies, you always want one of them to be a guy that their teammates respect a lot. And Marcellus obviously has earned that from our team, and he's a really good leader in that offensive line room. So offensively, we're in pretty good shape when it comes to that. We feel pretty confident as a staff that those three guys who were voted as captains for this team, they can truly run the show if our coaches aren't in the room.
What do you think are the main points of emphasis after the first scrimmage and getting a chance to review the tape? What did you like and what did you not like from that?
Well, the main emphasis is being physical. All right, being physical, that's the main emphasis. Like you talk about that a lot, and Coach, I know he probably spoke on it a little bit from his perspective as a head coach, because you get in training camp sometime and your focus becomes trying to get everybody to the game. And we still want to do that, but when you take that mentality sometimes early on, you don't hit as much as you probably should. And this fall camp, we're not doing that. We're going to let our guys hit. We're going to let our defense be feisty because we feel like that's going to help our offense ultimately. So, that's the biggest emphasis every day. And our skill position guys on offense, they're getting challenged probably more than anybody when it comes to that, because that's an area when you look back at a lot of film from last year, there were a lot of things that didn't go our way just simply off of straining and being physical on the perimeter, I'd say. But there's coming out of the scrimmage, you see guys that are trying and guys that are willing to, extend themselves in that area. So I was very pleased with that, more than anything. When I look at the tape, you're just watching guys trying to do what their coaches are asking them to do. And it wasn't clean. It was the first scrimmage. It wasn't as clean as it can be. We had some penalties that we obviously got to clean up. That stood out. But you're watching guys trying to do what their coach to do. And, as a staff, when you see that on tape, you feel good about it, and it's something to build off of.
You guys brought in Jacoby Brown after the springtime, someone who you have a pre-existing relationship from Miami. So what's that transition been like, and how's he looked in the early part of camp?
Jakari's done a really good job for himself. Same deal, that position, they got so much to worry about. So the first couple of days is always just them trying to really understand how we practice, how we operate, and just everything that goes with the position. There's so many things that he has to think about and before the ball is even snapped. So, you can see that in those first couple of days, but as our practices have started to go, we had an opportunity to go live with him on Saturday. And that's when I think his game shows the most. He has the ability to extend plays. You can use him in the run game, and he made some explosive plays for us in that scrimmage. And you watch him, you should see the confidence today after the scrimmage that he had. You see him, that confidence roll over today to practice to even clean up some of the areas that he wasn't consistently showing. But I've been very pleased with Jakari as well as all the quarterbacks, but he's done a really good job for himself.
Tim, I was going to ask about, you're talking about all the other quarterbacks, but Dylan Risk, who was here last year, had opportunity to get in the office. What have you seen from him, and is he able to take that next step from being a true freshman to the sophomore year?
Dylan's done a really good job, too, with the opportunities that he's had. You see, the development there. Coach Henshaw has done a really good job with him over this last year, and you see that every day. When he's out, he got in the scrimmage the other day, and I told him after the scrimmage that was probably the cleanest that he's played, since I've been back here. In the spring, still young then, you get a little worried and you run around a little bit, but in the scrimmage on Sunday, he was very in control of the game, and that's what you want to see. So that development is obviously going really well for him, and I'm looking forward to him taking the next step as well.
Gus talked a little bit about after the scrimmage about big plays. Jacoby Jones had 2 touchdowns. What have you noticed from him since he's come in?
He's a worker, and that's exactly what I knew we were going to get just from handling him in the recruiting process. A guy that 2022 had a really big season at his last school, and then last season he got an early injury that kept him out, and he was kind of under the radar in the transfer portal. But you go back and watch that tape, and you see the evidence physically what he did that season. And then when you bring him in on a visit and you talk to a guy, you hear their story, kind of where they come from. And he's a guy that worked himself to where he is. Had to go the JUCO route. Wasn't a recruited guy coming out of high school, was small. You probably wouldn't notice that when you see him now, right? Because he's worked himself to where he is. 225-pound receiver, and he plays that way. Strong. Knows how to get defenders off of him. Strong hands, and he's done a really good job every day of just being coachable. So I'm very pleased with him and happy for the early success that he's having, but continuing to push him because he's still got some things to clean up in his game that can make him as good as he can be. But I'm very pleased with where he's at right now.
Gus mentioned a couple of quarterbacks went live
Mm-hmm.
during the scrimmage, especially the younger guys. What do you feel like they gained from that experience and that opportunity to go at full out?
They gained a lot because Jakari, like I said, being with him, Jakari redshirted last season at his last school, and so he only played in the bowl game. So he played a couple games his true freshman season, but that's a lot of time, to play one game last year where you're full contact. A lot of time of him not playing real football. He's over on the scout team, but getting out there on Sunday, knowing that he's live, knowing that he has to escape and the whistle isn't going to be blown when you get touched, it really forces a guy to show the different areas of his game. And for him, that was a really big positive for us because we weren't able to judge those things off of the previous practices. So to get to see him have to do the things that he can do when plays break down or when we call quarterback run game, that was really good for us. So, we all walked off feeling really good about, just what his future can look like, when it comes to things that we do as an offense. And, and Jakari, he's a willing learner too. I don't want to, just make it all about his physical attributes, but just his coachability is one of the most impressive things about him. He's a guy that really wants to be really good. He wants to be good. And everything that a coach tells him, he hangs on to it. E.J. Colson, same thing. Coming out of high school, he got the opportunity to be live the other day. And what I think it helps him with the most is the speed of the game is totally different from when you're in high school. And E.J. won a lot in high school. The game probably came a lot easier to him. And he did some really good things on Sunday. And, as a young guy, you really want to make sure that you point those good things out because when it's not all clean like he's been used to seeing, they should kind of get in the dumps a little bit like they didn't do well. But when you go back and evaluate the tape, he did some really good things. And I think him going live, I don't know if we'll do it again for the next scrimmage, but I think the more work guys like him get doing that, it'll help them in their progression, as we get, ready for opponents.
Couple more. You got Kobe and Xavier kind of coming back to lock up maybe the couple spots in your receiver group. Who do you see maybe behind those guys that maybe can step up and maybe be that third, fourth maybe option when it comes to the
I'll be honest. I won't even say that anybody's ahead of anyone right now. We got extreme competition in that receiver room now, and it's coming down to a lot of things. Every day, that rotation changes a little bit. I've talked about Chauncey Magwood, though. He's a guy that's stepped up in training camp and doing some really good things. Being consistent more than anything. Trent Whitmore, same thing. He's a steady guy, and Trent is a worker. Always going to know exactly where you got to be. He knows his deficiencies in his game, and he knows how to make sure that he covers himself forward and get into the right spot. Xavier Townsend, you talked about, obviously done a good job continuing to elevate. Jacoby, who we just talked about, doing a good job. And then all of our young guys, you're seeing it from all of our young guys continuing to progress from spring ball. Tyree Patterson, Bradell Richardson, all those guys. And I may be missing some guys, but those are the key guys that are getting a lot of looks right now. But our receiver position, there's no one ahead of anybody right now. There's constant competition. There's pressure on them every day to make sure that they go out there and put the right stuff on tape.
Coach, back here, what's something you want to see the offense improve on in the next scrimmage and ultimately before the end of this fall camp?
I think this past scrimmage we were very vanilla in our run game. We stuck to one scheme and we were going to live with it. So the next scrimmage, I think just us adding some things schematically to open up the explosive plays in our run game. I want to see that. And then our receivers just continue to be able to make the downfield 50-50 plays. We had Javon Baker we had last year. He had a lot of success doing that. And, you look at it, you take that for granted. And but you look at, you got Randy Pittman in the room. We're doing some things with him to give him opportunities to do that too. But from our receivers and tight ends, the things that we're trying to do to put them in position to make downfield plays, we want to see those guys can make those plays more consistently.
Speaking about some tight ends, Grant Stevens has dealt with injuries before fall camp, both of his seasons. What's he like now in his first week of camp?
done a really good job. You saw it through spring ball, through the summer. Grant's done a good job putting himself in position to compete at that spot. He's getting pushed really well every day by Randy, to be honest. They both, when you recruit those kind of guys, skill set wise, you're seeing a lot of the same things. Receiving type guys that can go out there, but they both have developed their bodies well enough to be willing blockers too, and they're doing a good job at that. And Grant, has continued to get better, and he's shown that he's willing to do that. So, I'm excited to see, what the future looks like for Grant too.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.
The Pit Bull has a naming rights to FIU State.
Questions for Lee?
We just, first week of camp, you just had your first scrimmage on Saturday, or on Sunday actually. What are kind of your early evaluations and how did that first scrimmage go?
It went pretty well. Just keep being disciplined, working on the things you need to work on, and improve every day, be consistent, and just keep getting in shape, better shape. And
Lee, how's the line been physically wise? I mean, physicality wise, do you guys feel like you guys are doing a good job of that, like getting out and after the quarterback?
it's all right, job. Like every day, you always can attack the field with a mindset to get better. So every day, we just want to improve and get better. So every day, I feel we're doing all right. So we can do better day by day.
Gus had mentioned that your unit played really well. It was kind of the standout performance of the scrimmage. I want to ask about Caven Call. What maybe he's brought to that mix on the end.
Caven is Caven. I really not in the defense end room, but he do his job and he do his responsibility, and he big on being coachable.
What have you noticed from the offensive line that's different than years past going against them in practice?
What I noticed this year, they just a bit heavier, more physical, more stronger, more faster, play good together. So that's a great thing. That's a plus. They help me get better day by day. So appreciate them boys for coming out, being big, wide, strong, and fast, and helping me.
Who's one of them that stands out as someone that gets you better?
I ain't just gonna point out and say one. I feel like all them boys get me better because they work together.
Lee, now that you've been here a while, you're a statesman amongst the defensive line and the defense in general. What's your favorite piece of advice you've given one of your teammates here in this offseason to get better to head for 2024?
Can I hear that question again, please?
What's your favorite piece of advice you've given one of your teammates to get better heading into 2024 in the offseason here?
One piece of advice I can give my teammate is just keep working, work. Like every time a guy come that been to the next level who talk to our team, only thing they push out and say is work. So advice I can learn from people who been at the level that we trying to reach is they tell us work. So when I give out advice, I just try to work myself and tell them to do the same thing as work.
Well, I got to ask, too, you mentioned people talking to you. Who's the favorite person who's spoken to you that you kind of model that way?
Probably Noble. Just the success he reached and what he accomplished in life. So I just say him and the wisdom that he gave back to us.
Lee, Gus mentioned that he was going to make this fall camp a little tougher on you guys. Has it felt that way so far after the first week?
Oh yeah, it's tough. You come and you have 122 play scrimmage, so that tell it all.
What were some of, looking back on Sunday scrimmage, what were some of the top plays you remember that you guys had on defense?
Top plays we had, I'd probably say every play that a teammate made on defense that was behind the lines, that was running to the ball, like the effort. Like you can make a good play just by getting effort. So just by effort.
You remember any like sacks that guys had, or TFLs, or interceptions? Or?
Not really.
It's year 3 for you with Coach Martin. How's he helped you grow as both a man and as a football player?
Coach Martin, we had our ups and downs, but Coach Martin, a great coach, great guy. And when I have a situation like, if I have a situation, Coach Martin probably look at me and tell just by my demeanor. So Coach Martin always be there for me, like truly, like real, like. So I appreciate Coach Martin and what he do for me and everything we went through, and he come out every day and coach me the hardest. So appreciate Coach Martin and the love that he showed and give me day by day.
In speaking to a number of the defensive players, aggression or aggressiveness has kind of been the word that's been used to describe this new scheme and under Coach Roof. So how would you say you guys are demonstrating aggressiveness within the confines of this new scheme?
Putting your hands on somebody, hard hits, tackling, doing your job the best way you want to do it, and just playing physical. Like, be strong. Like, do hard, go all out with it. Don't half step it. Because you have stepped some, that's when physicality go away. When you have doing it, when you being lazy and don't feel like doing it. When you come out the mindset on that practice field and you say, I want to do something, that's when your physicality not going to come. It's just like a natural instinct.
Lee, what are a few words to describe this defense?
TFT, tough, fast, tough. Appreciate y'all, boy.
Good, and blessed.
You got Jamaal Johnson.
All right, Jamaal, you're more than a week into it. You just had your first big scrimmage on Sunday. How did that go for the guys?
I think everything went well. Obviously, we in our room, it's that mindset of just never being satisfied. So there's always something to work on, always something on to prove. But I seen a lot of good things from our room. A lot of from other positions in the defense and on offense. So overall, we did pretty well.
You guys talked about, again, this being a more difficult fall camp for you guys, wanted to stress you, put pressure on you guys. Have you seen that so far in the first week or so?
The main goal was just training, but all of us from the offense and defense side, we all came out with a mindset to just train, just give ourselves the best chance to, be physical, to dominate. And I feel like we, as a collective group, we all came out with the right mindset so far.
You mentioned mindsets. Coaches have talked about, I could even say spring camp as well, but all practice in the offseason. You're talking about getting more disciplined, having more sharp edge. And then dealing with adversity during the scrimmages and having some penalties there. What came into practice today to kind of shore more of that up to get sharp heading into scrimmage too?
Like I said, the approach, just being stout on, it's little things like keying the ball, watching the ball, watching for hard counts and stuff like that. And I think we did a pretty good job today of doing that, and also, being physical at the point of attack on everything.
There's been a lot of talk about the aggressiveness going up under Coach Roof. What's it been like playing on the defensive line under him?
I feel like it's been pretty fun. I see as the defense, we're biting. As a defense, we're being aggressive. And I just like the philosophy that Coach Roof is putting us in a position to do. So overall, it's been fun. He's giving us that chance to, be free. And like Lee just said, like just having that mindset of just, and that right approach of just being physical and just to dominate.
What spot are you competing for? Are you with Malachi? Are you on the other side? Or what's kind of your role been this camp?
Just playing my role. Malachi's been doing a great job leading the room. Also, Dalen Dotson, and of course, we just brought in Najee Kelly. He's been a good role to fill for that position as well. So we just all been doing a good job. Just playing our role, just coming together as a brotherhood, really, and as a unit in that room.
So what are kind of your goals and objectives? Like, this is your third year here, right?
Yes.
So you've been here a few years now, and there's wide open spots at DN. So what are your goals and objectives? Do you want to, earn a spot in the primary rotation, be a starter? What are your goals for this year?
I'm just a free spirit. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. At the end of the day, I trust God to put me to where I need to be. But ultimately, like I said, Mally's been doing a great job leading the room, and we've been having a solid rotation. So whoever goes out there, it don't even matter. We're gonna dominate.
What's been the mindset of this group? I mean, the defense got tested last year, obviously, but what's been the mindset for this group going into this year?
I always say hunting the football. As soon as we see that ball get out, we run into the ball at each play because you never know where you're going to be or what play you're going to make, just by hustling. So just really hustling to the ball and just being physical in all areas.
You lose Josh and you lose Tremont. Who's stepping up as the voice from a leadership perspective? Who's really kind of carrying the vocal, part of that room?
Malachi Lawrence, he's been doing a swell job. Very proud of what he's doing in that room. He's really stepping up into that role. He's really being the vocal point of it. And, I'm just playing my role, just trying to be the best teammate I can be for the room as well. And Caven as well, he's been trying to be that vocal point as well. And Dot, and just all the guys. And in some way, we all, contribute in the best possible way.
What have you noticed from the interior of the defensive line really helping you guys out on the edge?
They've been giving us good penetration up in the front, really being stout and being physical up front. And, when they do that, it makes our job easier on the outside to feel, set the edge and contain and all that stuff. So Lee and Ricky, John Walker, Matt Alexander, and the rest of the D-tackles, they've all been doing a good job, great job.
What's up, y'all?
just kind of talk about your journey to UCF, why you decided to come here after the spring, kind of what that recruitment was like, and how the first couple months been here for you like.
Yeah, so making my decision, I'm a big believer in Christ. And when you believe in Christ, I feel like you should set your goals high. And I always figured that I could play at a higher level. So me ending up going into the portal, I wanted to go somewhere big. And I felt like that UCF, by, making a transition into the Big 12 and coming in, I just wanted to make an impact. So I feel like God has brought me here. I prayed on it multiple times, so I'm just glad to be here.
How have you really embedded yourself into the wide receiver room coming in fall?
I think what a lot of guys can see is I'm very physical. I'm a big guy. I like to kind of establish my presence. I feel like a lot of receivers. I feel like I'm raising the standard. By me being physical, bringing a new presence into the wide receiver room. So I kind of feel like that's the role that I kind of been bringing.
You talk about the role being physical, an element of no block, no rock, something that's been said here ever since I started covering UCF. But Coach Harris mentioned, too, in the scrimmage that coaches were watching for that off-the-ball play. How much do you feel like the receivers executed that in the scrimmage this past Sunday?
You said the off-the-ball
play? Off-the-ball play, yeah, blocking, things like that.
I feel like what they've kind of been harping on a lot is to screen the block and be in front of your guys. We have a great running back room with R.J. Harvey, Penny Boone, Miles Montgomery, Johnny. So those guys can break it loose at any moment. So, just by us making a difference by being on our guy, it can turn a 15-yard run into an 80-yard touchdown. So that's something that they've been harping on. So, by me coming in, I feel like I always want to kind of show great effort. And when you see other guys, giving great effort, it's going to make you try even harder. So I feel like we did a great job in this scrimmage, but we still got a long ways to go.
You look at the receivers room. How would you describe the group that you have around you? I mean, it's got various levels of talent. What stands out to you about that group?
A lot of versatility. I mean, Kobe, he's real shifty. X is the same. Me, I feel like I'm a jack of all trades. I'm very big, and a lot of guys think that, I'm just a blocker, but, I can utilize my size. I'm very quick and shifty, too. Chauncey, he's very good. He's been making plays, a lot of 50-50 balls. Trent, he's a technician. He's a very good route runner. So I really feel like, a lot of guys in the room. VAR, he's very fast, lightning fast. So, you got to always watch out for him. So I feel like we have a lot of versatility, and there's nothing that we kind of lack in the wide receiver area.
What was your road to recovery like? What was the injury you suffered last year, and how long did it kind of take you to get back to 100% physically?
Physically, it took a while. It took a while. I would say 3 months after I was back on the field and, kind of, jogging and getting some stuff done. And kind of later towards the spring, I started to get routes on there and stuff like that. And in the summer, it was just kind of getting me back acclimated into the flow of the game. And so physically, it kind of took a while. And mentally was probably the biggest thing, just kind of trusting myself to be able to put my foot in the ground and to be able to get out of something, to be able to go against other people, against competition and stuff like that. So it's been a rough journey, but Coach Harris, he's been pushing me. And I feel like he was one of the biggest factors in helping me kind of get over that mental hump. So I'm forever grateful. I feel like that's why God placed me here, because ever since I've been here, Coach Harris has been pushing me, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be somewhere where I'd be screened, I'd be pushed to be the best player that I could be. So that's it. Yeah, I ended up I broke my leg last year, but everything's feeling good now. I feel like camp has been going great. I've been moving good. I'm trusting, planting my foot, getting in and out of my breaks, so I'm good.
Jacoby, you're originally from what, Northwest Mississippi area?
So yeah, I'm from
Tunica?
Tunica, Mississippi. Yes,
and
sir.
KJ Jefferson, I think he's from Sardis?
He's from Sardis.
He's not that far away. And you guys are about the same class, right?
Yeah, so in high school, we actually, our schools ended up playing against each other. So he went to North Panola, and I played at Roosevelt High School in Tunica, Mississippi. So that was cool. I can remember playing him and coming out and seeing the offense take field. I'm like, this is crazy. It's a quarterback that's 6'3", looked like he was like 230 pounds. Like, I hadn't seen nothing like it, but It's been crazy, but KJ, he's a great guy. That was another reason why I wanted to come in here because he's a great leader, and I've known of him for quite some time since we played against each other, so that's been cool.
So you didn't really know him personally, you just played against him.
Played against him and, spoke a couple words every now and then, but, that was something cool. That was something I was actually looking forward to, coming down here and kind of getting a Mississippi connection going.
And when we talked to him the other day, he said they call you DK. I guess it's
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, who's also from Mississippi, right? Is that kind of where the nickname came from, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so. Everybody just seeing me and they just seeing a receiver like me. Like, I understand it's kind of uncommon. They call me DK. They call me Debo. Pretty much any big receiver you can think of, they've called me. So that's been kind of cool. But, at the same time, I kind of want to establish a legacy to the point where people can say, oh, there goes Jacoby, the same way they see DK and Debo. So, yeah.
Jacoby, what year was that you faced KJ?
2018, 29. As a matter of fact, I think it was each year. It was each year in my high school career. But I mostly remember here from 2017 and 2018. Those were the years where he just was like it was crazy. Like, I hadn't seen nothing like it. Still haven't besides him. So, yeah.
You obviously went through the JUCO route. How did that help you become who you are today?
Yeah, so Coach Parker, he's actually a great friend with Coach Jamaal Johnson, and I kind of want to give him a shout out. Like, Coach Parker, like, his coaching philosophy was he was going to push you. He was going to make sure that you was going to be the best version of yourself. So being in JUCO, of course, you don't have the same resources and, the same things, but, I thank God for, making me passionate about the game. And it allowed me to continue to push myself to be the best version of myself. And having faith in him is the main thing because, I prayed. I asked God to, play on a Division I level, and he ended up making it happen. And when I went to Ohio, things happened, and I ended up coming here. So it's just been a blessing, but it's definitely helped me because, I had to really make a lot out of nothing. And now I feel like I'm in a position where, there's a lot of resources, a lot of people that's willing to help. And so that's been great. But JUCO, it definitely changed me and made me a better man.
Jacoby, obviously, don't want the highs to get too high, lows too low. It's just a scrimmage and all of that. But turning in 2 touchdown catches after this journey that we've been talking about with you, what were you feeling right then? Is that kind of a thing that could cement you being like you felt like you found your fit? Or just kind of what are the emotions when you were able to turn that in at this point?
The initial thought was, I just wanted to give praise to God. As far as going along this injury recovery, like the mental, it was real tough, and I questioned myself a lot. Had a lot of doubt. I had some days that wasn't as great. So it felt real good just knowing that I prayed about these things, and God has been with me, and that's all I could do. I was on the sideline. I was just telling God, giving Him the glory, because. It's honestly, kind of chilling, because I did not see myself, being in this position. I feel like when I initially made the move to come here and stuff, I was confident, and then getting on the field and some things were uncharacteristic, but the scrimmage has helped me a great deal to show me, that I can still do it, that I can still perform at a high level, so it's been great.
Did that scrimmage provide you, the way you're talking, like provide you a lot of confidence, I guess, going into the rest of this camp, going into this season?
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it was great. I've been praying on it a lot, just saying that, God, I know I'm physiologically, my leg is fine and stuff like that. And I just, hey, God, can you just show me some plays? I still got it. And I feel like this scrimmage was big for me because not only in the passing game, scoring the touchdowns and stuff like that, but I also feel like, blocking and things like that, able to give great effort and stuff like that. So that's really what's been keeping me afloat, the results, because, I honestly still would have felt the same way without the touchdowns because I was able to give it my all, and I came out of it healthy. I came out of it feeling good, feeling refreshed in my mind. So that's something I'm going to carry out throughout the season and continue to keep the momentum going.
I need to talk loud.
Questions for Randy? Yeah. Hey, Randy, how different do you feel coming into this year? Last year, you were a freshman, kind of eased into playing time a little bit, but you're the man this year in that tight end room. You're the main guy. How does it feel?
it feels amazing. Just last year, looking back, being a freshman, I wouldn't say I was like conservative or anything, but there's a little bit of different. When you haven't got your feet wet, but now I feel like I jump full in. I'm in the deep end, so I'm just attacking every day and just trying my best.
Randy, Coach Harris talked a little bit about how they want to use you in different spots, not just the typical tight end spot, but they want to move you around. What have you been able to do maybe in this offense that maybe gives you a lot of hope and excitement going into this year?
I've just been able to help our team a lot in the receiving game. Just being a bigger body. I like to compare myself to Jacoby. He looks really good at the size he is, the way he moves. I really try to make my routes and the way I move look like him. He's done a wonderful job for us so far. So kudos to him. But just being in that receiver game more and being more explosive in the pass game.
Coach has talked a lot about, bringing in more edge, bringing in more physicality to, the day-to-day and this the identity of this team.
Yeah.
How does that look different in practice for you? It's like you a little bit more sore when practice is done now, or what's different now with practice?
We attacking every day. We got a great defense. We put out some guys in the portal. We got one of the best pass rushers in all college football. So, we come out every day. We're competing. We all want to win games. We understood what happened last year. So just preparing for what's to come. Putting ourselves in position to win games. That's what it is.
You talked in the spring about thinking like KJ. How has that continued in fall, and where are you on that?
That looks amazing right now. As far as adding me to the receiver game more, I love to question KJ. I love to know what he's thinking. Me being a bigger target, he loves the back shoulder ball. So just thinking like him more and understanding what Coach Gus is looking for when he has the ball and when he's going through his progression itself, big time.
You can offer praise for Jacoby there. So what kind of caught your eye when he first came here and getting to see him in the scrimmage, did it kind of match exactly those first things you thought about him?
Yeah, the first thing I ever seen him do was run a stop route, and he killed the guy. Just looking at the way he moves, the way he could sell his route at such a big frame. He's been explosive, and in the scrimmage, he had 2 touchdowns. He caught a fade ball and a corner ball. Just looking at the way that he could get open and manipulate defenders into thinking that he's doing something else has been tremendous for us. He's going to be a big time player for our offense.
Randy, is there anyone who do you like emulate? I mean, is there a player that you maybe when growing up that you really kind of thought, this is kind of who I want to be like, or maybe stood out to you that maybe you kind of grew up, well, I don't want to say worshiping, but grew up maybe and really liked the way they played their game?
I like Aaron Hernandez a little bit, but right now I'm trying to make my game like Jacoby Jones. Yeah.
Randy, what do you want to show this season? Like, what are fans going to see when the season gets here in a few weeks? Obviously, you've been working on every facet of your game since your freshman year. Like, what do you hope to accomplish and show?
I hope to win games. That's my biggest goal. I plan to win every game that we play. To see out of me, you're going to see a guy that comes out and plays his heart out. I'm going to come every day. I'm going to be physical. I'm going to attack guys. I'm going to want to be helpful in the receiving game. You're going to see me try my best, 100%.
You're kind of that leader of the tight end room now. Did you talk to Alec at all about the leader, like taking on a leadership role, and what did he tell you about?
He just told me to embrace it. He's a real veteran guy. He's been here long. He knows exactly what he's talking about. So he looked out for me a bunch while he was here, and now he's doing well at the Cowboys. I still talk to him, and he's definitely freshened me up on just being more vocal. Attacking guys. Don't be afraid to speak. Is there anything that needs to be corrected? A guy's not behind the line. Don't be afraid to speak up.
Randy, who's having a good camp? Has anyone impressed you? Any newcomers, young guys? Anyone kind of looking good over the first week?
Jacoby Jones has really impressed me. I really like what he's bringing to our team.
What does he bring? We saw him. I think the highlight they said he had. I know he had a catch in the end zone and stuff. Is he a bigger target guy?
Yeah. He not just only a bigger target. He's really efficient getting in and out of his routes. Like he said, he's big, he's strong. You seen the guy. He's really committed, and he's very, very, very bought in. Like Coach Harris mentioned, I love his story. I like his motivation, and he's really trying, and he's trending in the right way. So I'm really excited for what Jacoby has for us.
Randy, did you add any muscle over the summer?
A little bit. Yeah. I had a little muscle.
Were you looking to try to get a little bit, gain weight, lose weight?
Yeah,
Did you do anything like that?
I'm trying to get 235.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about 228 right now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Randy.